tell us about the history of how you started the company.
We started the company, my partner and I, in 1990 as a travelling tailoring business, doing sales around the City of London. My family business was using CAD computers to develop patterns for clothes, and had written a very clever piece of software that manipulated the patterns to an individual's measurements.
Okay. So your family business, meaning that your dad had a company that created patterns for clothes.
Yes.
And and your first idea was, let's adapt that particular software into making patterns for individual clients.
Now, my first idea was actually not to go into that business.
Oh, tell us more.
It was built on technology that was already mostly outdated and incredibly expensive. I think the first CAD computers that the company, which was called Complan, purchased were nearly £500,000 in the late 70s. And at that point, not even the biggest UK manufacturers could afford this sort of technology. So it was used on a bureau basis, whereby people would rent space on the computers to do lay planning and pattern design. When I was asked to join the business by my father in 1990, I figured that this had no scalability at all. Fortunately, I met who is now my business partner, Matthew Norton, who persuaded me that actually the future was in tailoring and travelling tailoring, and they wanted to use the technology that were being developed. And so I saw that as a scalable opportunity. And we founded a business together one afternoon. At the time, I had zero knowledge of tailoring. I trained as a boat builder, but had arrogantly thought that if you can work with flat materials and make a boat, you can work with flat materials and make a suit. So off we went, and we built the business over 10 years to about $3 million turnover, and but was struggling with supply. So we then opened our own factory in the UK. I think we're probably the last people in the UK to open a manufacturing facility, but it taught us a lot about the trials and tribulations of actually making the product rather than just producing a pattern for the product. We also realized that we didn't have enough orders to sustain the factory 12 months of the year, so we started offering the capacity to other tailors in the UK. In 2004, we felt that we needed to expand our production, and the UK wasn't the place to do it. Even then, finding labour was difficult. So we went overseas. The first place we went was the Czech Republic, which was a fantastic insight into the power of really big manufacturing from my perspective. Met the most amazing chap, Willie van Overdyk, who had the skill to cut a pattern, the skill to make a suit, and a personality that could sell you ice to the Eskimos. Just a fantastic man. And he and I built the first made-to-measure line in the Czech Republic. The steady march east from Western European economies to find cheaper labour and supply moved us then to China via Malta, and eventually we ended up about 15 years ago in southern India, where we remained.